Hello friends, my name is Mohsin Mullah and I welcome you all to this video lecture. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about distribution of load between units within a power plant. So in the first video lecture of this particular subject, power system analysis, so we had seen that for economic operation, so within a plant we need to load different units according to their efficiencies or most efficient load, or most commonly we load the different units based on the incremental fuel cost of the units. Okay, so now let us consider particular case of where we are discussing about the distribution of load between the units of the same plant. Okay, so units of the same plant. So here, to compute economic load division between units, it is necessary to express the operating cost in terms of output. Okay, so to compute the economic load division, okay, so to compute the economic, I'll just write few lines here so that you get the link. To compute the economic load division, okay, so it is necessary to express, express the operating cost, the operating cost in terms of output, in terms of output, because one of the unit might be more efficient than the other and one of the unit might be having less incremental cost than the other. So it is very much essential to represent the overall operating cost of the unit in terms of the output that it is going to generate. Okay, so for the most of the, you can say, power plants like which work on the steam turbine or which work on the gas turbine, or say, for example, say diesel engine. Okay, so here the usually input is expressed in terms of kilojoules per hour, in terms of the output or load in megawatt. Okay, so usually for the different type of, you can say, turbine, uh, here gas turbine or steam turbine type of substations, power plants. So the here I'll just try to show you with the help of this block diagram. If there is a power plant which is steam turbine or gas turbine, or might be a diesel generator, but usually diesel generators are not very big power plants. Okay, so most of the time we have the steam turbine or the gas turbine which will be used in nuclear power plant or thermal power plant most commonly. So here the input is expressed in terms of output, needs to be expressed in terms of the output. So here input is usually kilojoules, energy supplied in terms of kilojoules per hour, and the output available from this plant will be the power or the load in terms of megawatt. But if suppose we have a hydropower plant, now in case of a hydropower plant, we know that in case of hydropower plant the input is water, it is simply the water. So here we need to express the input in terms of the flow rate. So flow rate is, water flow rate is nothing but meter cube per second, and here output is again going to be the same megawatt power. Okay, so in case of hydropower plant, input is just the water which is free, so therefore we need not bother about the operating cost of the hydropower plant. Now we are going to bother only about the operating cost of this thermal power plant mostly. Okay, so therefore here we need to express the input in terms of or say the cost in terms of the output. So here input might be represented in terms of energy, or the energy required per hour, or the cost incurred per hour. In both way we can represent, so that part we'll see later. But now let us first consider the very important term, that is the efficiency. So efficiency at any load can be measured by taking the input from the input output curve corresponding to load. Okay, so here efficiency is calculated, efficiency is, it is very important here. So efficiency, I'll just write, so efficiency is calculated efficiency, so particularly we say efficiency at any load, at any load can be measured by taking the input, by taking the input from the input output curve, from the input output output curve corresponding to the load, curve corresponding to the load. So what do we mean here that input output curve is that, so for any given unit we need to represent the input in terms of output. Okay, so therefore suppose here input output curve is nothing but it is just the representation of input versus output. So here I'll just write this y-axis as the input and here x-axis as the output. So this whatever curve we are going to obtain here is called as input output curve, and here input output curve can be basically for the if the input is taken as the kilojoule per hour, that is the rate of flow, this one fuel consumption, then here the input output curve will be expressed in terms of the rate of fuel consumed. Similarly, if the input is considered in terms of say rupees per hour, so in that case the input output curve will be giving us the rate of say incremental fuel rate of that particular unit. Okay, so now this is how we try to represent the input output curve of a unit. So here basically I can just try to draw some random say curve. So this random curve is suppose for the output generated for the cost. Okay, so here or the just input is nothing but the energy supplied here. Okay, so basically here we'll have, so 2 point, one is the megawatt minimum, so that is the minimum power that will be generated by the unit, and another one is the capacity which is nothing but megawatt maximum. So now corresponding to any load, so suppose here if I take to this point P here, okay, so that is my load. So corresponding to this load, so here this P will be known, and here I'm going to obtain what is the input here. So input, I told you that we are going to consider in terms of kilojoule. So here that kilojoule per hour we are going to use, input is kilojoule per hour. So therefore the efficiency is given as, from this curve we can try to write the efficiency is given as efficiency eta, it is represented as eta. So what is the output here? Output is in terms of megawatt, which is which I have taken as P for example output in, but in general it is output in megawatt into 1000. So why we are taking this 1000? Because in the denominator we are going to use kilo. So here input in kilojoule per second. Okay, so this is input in kilojoule per second, or when we want to use the input in terms of kilojoule per hour, in that case the efficiency will become output in megawatt, output in megawatt into 1000. So converting per second into per hour, so we need to just divide it by 3600 here in the denominator, so that will go to the numerator, so that will become 3600 divided by input in kilojoule per hour. Okay, so it will become kilojoule per hour, and if I multiply this by 100, then the efficiency is represented in terms of percentage. Okay, so this is what the formula for efficiency is. Okay, so we need to remember this formula of efficiency here. Okay, so yes. Okay, so now let us talk about the another very important input output curve, which is also gives us the heat rate. Now what is the heat rate? Here it is also the ratio of the two terms, input and output, but here the numerator is going to be the input to the unit and denominator is going to be the output, that is called as the heat rate. Okay, so just let me write that here. Next heading is heat rate. Now what is heat rate? Heat rate is the ratio of input to the output, is the ratio of input to the output. Okay, so therefore we can try to write heat rate as in the form of a mathematical expression. We can write heat rate equal to input. So input is nothing but input in kilojoule per hour here, and output is nothing but output in megawatt. Okay, so or also this can be written as input in, so here totally if you take the unit of this, it will be represented in terms of hour will go to the denominator. So heat rate is usually given as kilojoule per megawatt hour. Okay, so it will be kilowatt per megawatt hour, and this is also a very important expression which needs to be remembered. Okay, so there we go, it is highlighted. Now next we have to talk about from this input output curve. Now we will be able to get the incremental rate. Okay, so incremental rate, now it is very important point to be discussed. Incremental rate. So incremental rate of any machine or any unit so can be considered here. So incremental rate of a machine at any given output is the rate of change of the input with respect to the output. So it is rate of change of input with respect to the output. Rate of change of input with respect to output. Okay, so now the ratio of small change in input to the small change in output is called as incremental rate. Okay, so if I want to write the expression or formula for this, incremental rate is nothing but small change in input to small change in output. Okay, so now mathematically if you try to represent this small change in input to small change in output corresponding to the curve that we are considering as the input output curve. Let me just draw it once again over here. So this is say our input output curve. So now from this curve, suppose I am drawing input output curve like this. Okay, so now here corresponding to a particular say point on this curve, if I try to obtain the change in the input as change in the output, so for that I need to obtain what say a linearized line by drawing the tangent here. Okay, so to that tangent if I take the slope, so that slope will be change in this input delta y. Okay, so here change in the input, so delta y usually I'll just write it for this example, and delta x. So now what is incremental rate here? It is nothing but the ratio of the change in the input to the change in output. So x is output here. Okay, so because we had written here input and here it is output, so therefore change in input is what? Small change in input is nothing but it is delta y, and here it is nothing but delta x. This is just for example. Now suppose if the input are given different, you can say, type of variables. So we have basically two type of variables to be considered as input. One is the amount of fuel used or the amount of energy supplied to the machine, that is kilojoule per hour. So in that case it will become incremental rate of the fuel consumed. And also we have another way of representing that input, that is the cost incurred. So we can write that cost per hour. So in that case it will become incremental fuel cost. Okay, incremental fuel cost of the unit. Okay, suppose this is whatever diagram I have written, this is for one particular machine or one particular unit. Okay, so now what I'm going to use here is, suppose if the input is, I'll take for this particular case I'll just try to write here input is nothing but kilojoule per hour. So what is the input here? Energy or the fuel consumption. Okay, so now if the input is expressed in kilojoule per hour and the output is expressed in terms of megawatt, okay, then the here we are going to get the incremental fuel rate. So here we can write this as incremental fuel rate. Okay, so here it is nothing but in terms of kilojoule per megawatt hour. Okay, so it will be kilojoule per megawatt hour. Okay, if suppose here input is given, okay, so instead of energy, if the input is given in terms of rupees per hour, okay, and the output is still the same megawatt, then here whatever we write is ratio of these two, in small change in the input to the small change in output, or also we can say this as the slope of the curve. Okay, that slope will be now representing the incremental fuel cost. So I can write it as incremental fuel cost, and this incremental fuel cost will be represented in terms of rupees per megawatt hour. Okay, so here two very important expressions that we have obtained is this incremental fuel rate in terms of kilojoule per megawatt hour, and the other one is the incremental fuel cost, which is generally just considered as incremental cost or also written as incremental cost. Okay, IC. Okay, so that incremental cost is usually written in terms of rupees per megawatt hour. Okay, so which is shown here. Fine, so now incremental fuel cost is the term which is actually going to lay the basis for different load division, because for different units, this unit I had considered as an example as unit number 1. Okay, so this is going to have one particular type of incremental cost, say IC1. So likewise, if the second different units are used here, suppose in a very big plant. Okay, so in a very big plant, suppose we have multiple units. I'll just take 3 units here. So 1, 2, 3. So in that case, so here there will be a different curve for this, and there will be a different curve for the second unit like this, and for the third unit also there will be a different curve, input output curve. Okay, and suppose if the all of these are representing here rupees per hour, here also it is rupees per hour, and here also it is rupees per hour, and output of each of the unit is in terms of megawatt. Okay, so in that case incremental cost for each of this will be obtained as IC1. Okay, so IC1 here, IC2 and IC3. So now this IC1, IC2, IC3 might not be equal. Suppose if I take as a general case, IC1 is less than IC2 and IC2 is less than IC3, then the loading of the unit will be done. First load will be given to the unit 1. First preference will be for the unit 1, then second preference will be to the unit 2, and third preference will be for the unit 3. Then later it will be loaded to their capacities finally when the maximum demand needs to be met. Okay, so this will be the order of loading. So this will be the order of loading unit 1 to unit 3. And suppose if different say this is not true, IC1, IC2, IC3, this order is not true, then according to that second order, say I'll take that IC2 is the smallest and IC3 is the second smallest incremental cost and IC1 is the third smallest incremental cost. Now the loading has to be done according to this order. First IC2, first unit 2, then unit 3, then unit 1. Okay, so here it was unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, here it is unit 2, unit 3 and unit 1. So this is how the loading of the machines will be done if the incremental cost is known and if the incremental cost is having this particular order. Okay, so now if the input output curve is given in the form of an algebraic equation instead of the input output curve, it is not given like a graph but it is given in terms of algebraic equation. So then in that case, how can we obtain the incremental fuel cost or incremental rate? Directly you can say incremental rate or incremental cost. So now I will take the normalized term as incremental cost only. So here if the algebraic equation is given, if input output is given by an algebraic equation, in that case how can we obtain the incremental fuel cost? Can you guess? Equation, then the first differentiation or you can say first derivative of the input with respect to output gives the incremental cost. Okay, so that will give us the incremental cost. Then similarly, if also we can obtain this incremental cost graphically, so the incremental cost can be determined graphically from the input output curve corresponding to a point can be located on the curve, then the slope of the tangent to the point. So on a input output curve, slope of a tangent at a point corresponding to the load gives the incremental cost. Okay, so this is the second way we can obtain the that particular incremental fuel cost. Or sometimes if the curve is very non-linear, in that case the Taylor's expansion can also be used to obtain the first derivative at the point on the load curve or so input output curve. Okay, so now basically the shape of the heat curve and the incremental rate curve are shown in the figure. Here the heat rate curve and the incremental rate curve are plotted on the common coordinates. Okay, so let us now draw the heat curve and incremental rate curves. So here basically they are plotted on the common coordinate. Okay, so same input and output axis is used here. Okay, so I'll just write here, this is output line and this is the input. Okay, then first we are going to plot the heat curve on this, and then we are going to plot the load curve. So heat curve usually will be given like this. Okay, and then the load curve. So load curve will start from a minimum say fuel value, and it will increase like this. Okay, so now here both the inputs can be written here. So one input, that is the red colored curve, represents here the cost of the fuel. So I can write that incremental, or I'll just write this as in terms of incremental rate in kilojoule per hour. Sorry, per megawatt hour. And first one is the heat curve. Per kilowatt hour. Okay, so now here the two curves are going to intersect at a particular point. Okay, so that forms the basis for the minimum fuel consumption or minimum fuel cost, and that will also be the minimum, you can say, the generator needs to generate minimum this much of power to be efficient or economic for the operation of the unit. Okay, so then there is a maximum or its capacity. Okay, so that corresponds to this maximum. So from this point onward, the incremental that heat rate is going to increase continuously, and this intersection will form the minimum heat rate of the point. So this indicates the minimum heat rate. Okay, so this particular figure is called as heat rate and incremental rate curve. Heat rate and incremental rate curve. Okay, so now this is about the particular unit. So this any unit in the power plant can be represented by heat rate and incremental rate curve, and from the two input output curves, that is, one is the incremental rate curve and another one is the heat rate curve, we get the intersection point of the two curves, which will be the minimum heat rate. That means it is the minimum value of the fuel consumption. So from then onwards, the power generated will increase, correspondingly the input needs to be increased. Okay, so that is what we can understand from this heat rate curve and the incremental rate curve. So let us just see what we have covered so far. So we started from the say efficiency. So efficiency is nothing but the output in megawatt to the input in kilojoule per second, which can be converted into output in megawatt divided by input in kilojoule per hour. Okay, so then we obtained the heat rate. Heat rate is nothing but input in kilojoule per hour to the output in megawatt, or which can be expressed finally as kilojoule per megawatt hour. Then incremental rate. So incremental rate is nothing but the change in input with respect to output, which we have obtained for two terms. One is for the fuel and another one is for the fuel cost. This is for the fuel and this is for the fuel cost. Okay, and also we have seen that the loading will be done according to the order of their fuel cost. incremental fuel cost, whichever is lower, so that will be loaded first, and then the next lowest curve will be next lowest incremental cost unit will be loaded. Okay, so now finally for a unit we can represent the two curves like this. Okay, so now let us try to obtain the suppose if there are two units operating in a plant, then what is the economical condition when the overall operation of the plant is going to be economical if there are two units working. So that we can consider in the next video lecture. So till then, happy learning and thank you.